Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Argo Sports Insider. I'm your host, Will Kennedy. This is our women's basketball coach at the University of West Florida, the all-time winningest in program history, Coach Stephanie Lawrence-Yelton. And we're here opening the show this week because you guys just played in the Gulf South Conference Tournament as we're recording this in the quarterfinal round, and got a win over West Georgia. Feels good. This is a win and move on time of the season. A little bit of relief, a little bit of happiness. How does it feel?
No, it feels great. You know, this is where we wanted to be. We wanted to be hosting on Super Tuesday. We knew we were going to have a tough opponent in West Georgia. I think obviously our league, that top 8 teams in our league are super, super tough. But it was nice to see our team really come out and battle and get the job done and send us to Birmingham. I mean, we haven't been Birmingham in a few years. I've been missing it. And so I'm excited to bring this team into Birmingham this weekend.
You guys get the opportunity to go up there, play the second game in the semifinals and against an opponent that you've seen already. We'll talk about that in a second. This game, you come out of the locker room, come in and get things started. And I know as a coach, your intensity's got to be there. You got to have that energy. You guys were doing that, especially defensively early in this game.
Yeah, I thought our team was great with defensive intensity. We were able to get stops. Of course, it helped that, you get jazzed up when you start shooting the ball very, very well from the three-point line early in the game. And so I think that helped jazz us up. We pressed a little bit, got some action out of our press in that second quarter, really stretched the lead going into halftime. It was good to see multiple players get into the action and kind of help us on both ends of the floor.
Felt like if there were some layups that would have gone in the first half, you guys might have been up more than 18 at the half. And you did extend that lead out of the locker room in the second half, pushed it out to 25, I think with about 4 minutes left in the third quarter. And then all of a sudden, West Georgia's not missing anything for a second. They cut back into the lead and get it close to cutting it under double digits.
Yeah, we just didn't match up well in transition a couple of possessions. We allowed, Aaliyah Washington, who was freshman of the year in our conference, to just stay open on the perimeter. She hit 3 threes in a row, and then it became a ball game again, and so we went through a dry spell offensively, got good shots but didn't make them, and then just had to really fight it out in that fourth quarter.
Jacqueline Jarnett is the Gulf South Conference Player of the Year. That was announced the day of the game. She went for 14 and 10, but fouled out. It wasn't really the kind of game we've seen from her. Zoe Pillar was in foul trouble. She was first-team all-conference. You really kind of don't have those two players, first-team all-conference players, at their peak. So you needed some other people to step up. Haley Luttrell, double digits, knocks down a couple of important shots. And then Jennifer Andrew kind of comes off when you need her off the bench, along with Claire Sutherland Case, and gives you what you had to have.
Oh, yeah, and those are the players that we were missing for a lot of the season. I mean, Haley's been healthy all season, but Jen and Claire have been out at different times through the year. And so giving them an opportunity and having them be able to show up and really produce is amazing for us. It allows us to play big ball and small ball at the same time, so we were forced at one point in the season to play big ball the whole game. And against some teams like West Georgia, who can really spread you out and play small ball, that really was a great way to play. And now we can play small ball a little bit better, and I think that's going to help us in the long run.
71-57, the final on this one. Since we had our last show, you guys also picked up road wins to close out the season against West Alabama and Alabama Huntsville. So you're riding another nice winning streak. You had a nice long one in double digits earlier in the year into this semifinal game. You'll get the opportunity to play Union. They went down to the wire with Delta in their quarterfinal game. You were telling me you like your chances against anybody that could be in that Final Four because you've beaten everybody at least once this year.
Yeah, we've beaten everybody in our conference at least once. You're going to see teams that you've already beaten. Now we're going to go into seeing teams that have also beaten us, so that's the strength of our schedule and the strength of our teams in our conference. But it's, anything can happen. Once you get to that Final Four and on a neutral site, playing it out, it's anything can happen, and I'll take our chances just like I would anybody else's.
Big win, as we mentioned, in the quarterfinal. You feel like you got yourself into a pretty good position, regardless of what happens in Birmingham. But if you can win a couple games in Birmingham, NCAAs are right there.
Yeah, I think right now, obviously we'd love to be cutting down the nets on Sunday, and then there's no question whether you're in the NCAA tournament or not. You're just in. But I think we've positioned ourselves. We have some great wins over top, 10 opponents in the nation, and that we should be getting an at-large bid. I'd be very surprised if the regional ranking comes out tomorrow and the Argos are left out. There may be a price to pay with that, but yeah, I think we've done enough. We've only lost one game since Christmas break. One game. And we played some really tough opponents on the road and had to beat them on their home courts. So I think there's there's a lot riding on the weekend just because we'd love to be, cutting down nets and hoisting a trophy on Sunday. But, I say it every year, you got to be in the tournament to win the tournament. And so we're trying to get ourselves in the NCAA tournament too.
Feels like this is a team that could get that done. Coach, congratulations, and we look forward to more in Birmingham.
Thank you.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
What does Argo Spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Penn Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Penn Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at pennair.org/aboutus.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
This isn't just any burger run. This is a burger run for Whataburger's Sweet and Spicy Bacon Burger. 2 fresh all-beef patties with melty cheese, grilled onions, crispy bacon, and sweet and spicy pepper sauce. One for you, one for him, and one for your unofficial roommate, Brad. Always order an extra. For Brad. The all-time favorite sweet and spicy bacon burger from Whataburger. Just like you like it.
Groundbreaking orthopedic care is more than top-rated quality scores, more than leading-edge treatment options, more than world-class care close to home. It's all that and more. Andrews Institute. Groundbreaking care.
The Daily Medium Sub Special is back for a limited time only from Firehouse Subs. From Meatball Monday to Italian Sunday, a delicious deal for every day of the week, always handcrafted and piled high with hearty meats and cheeses, then served on a warm toasted sub roll. Order on firehousesubs.com or on the app to have your subs boxed, bagged, and ready for pickup. And a portion of every purchase helps provide much-needed life-saving equipment to first responders across the country. Firehouse Subs. Enjoy more subs, save more lives. Men's basketball wrapped up the regular season out on the road, and the Argos jumped out to an early lead against the top 25 opponent in Alabama Huntsville, but the Chargers came charging back to pull out an 84-65 win. Daniel Sofield led the way for UWF, continuing his hot play with a team-high 26 points. The Argos kept it close in the regular season finale at West Alabama. Latrell Tate pacing 3 UWF players in double figures with a team-high 16 points, but the Argos fell 74-66. The men finished the season 13-15 overall with a 9-15 mark in Gulf South Conference play. Baseball and softball both hit the road for conference openers over the weekend. Some rough weather in Tennessee played a role in moving the schedule around a little for both squads. Baseball opened their set against Union in dramatic fashion. The Argos jumped to an early lead and never looked back, pounding out 16 runs on 17 hits, staking Dalton Neuschwander to his 3rd victory of the season in a 16-0 final. Darian McDowell added another home run. Jackson Grabsky had 2 doubles in the victory. The two teams had to sit out on Saturday due to some rain, and that may have cooled down the Argos' mojo. Union bounced back to sweep a Sunday doubleheader with a dramatic 9-8 victory in Game 1. Mike Scordo hit his first home run of the season in the Argos' loss. And the final game of the series was a more defensive affair. The Argos tied the game 1-1 in the 4th inning, but the Bulldogs came back with 2 runs in the bottom half of that inning on their way to a 3-1 victory.
It was a quick bounce back for baseball with a Tuesday game at Spring Hill. Offense was the theme as the Argos put up 11 runs on 12 hits, securing an 11-8 win. McDowell was 3 for 5 with 4 RBI. Dean Holtz went 3 for 4, hit a home run, and drove in 5. UWF is now 9-4 on the season.
The Argos host Delta State this weekend for a 3-game series at the Spoon. Game 1 is Friday at 5 with a Saturday doubleheader to follow. Softball was also on the road at Union. The Argos were set for a 3-game series, but only ended up playing 2 with all that rain up in Tennessee. UWF pitching was solid in the first game of the doubleheader, keeping the Bulldogs to 3 runs on 8 hits. But Union pitching, that was even better, holding the Argos to 2 runs on 4 hits in a 3-2 Union victory. The Bulldogs broke open a tight second game with 4 runs in the 5th inning, on the way to a 5-3 final and a sweep of the doubleheader. The Argos fall to 6-6 on the season with those losses. Softball also set to host a series with Delta State this weekend with a doubleheader on Saturday and a single game on Sunday. Both UWF tennis teams were out on the road, making a trip through Tennessee, Arkansas, and Mississippi. The women swept all 3 matches, beating Christian Brothers 5-1, then besting Harding 6-1 before completing a clean sweep with a 7-0 win at Delta State. The UWF women are now 4-2 on the season. The men also rolled through their road trip, beating Christian Brothers 6-0, Harding 5-2, and then a 6-0 result at Delta. The 8th-ranked team in the country is now 4-1 this spring. The UWF women are scheduled to host a midweek match with 2nd-ranked Nova Southeastern. That's on Wednesday. Both teams take on Lynn up in Valdosta on Friday. The nationally ranked UWF women's swimming and diving teams getting ready for the NCAA championships March 7th through the 11th in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Argos will send 12 student athletes to those championships with 7 swimmers and 5 divers competing. Spring football continues to get work in on the turf at Penn Air Field. New head coach Caleb Nobles and his staff are working hard to install some new schemes in all phases of the game. The early returns say that things are moving along nicely.
Here we go. Y'all want to take a shot here? Yeah. Let's go. Pistol 1, hot, move Hummer Blue Jays. Pistol 1, hot, Hummer. Pistol 1, hot, move Hummer Blue Jays. Mike.
I thought it would be a little bit tougher this year than it has been, but, you know, the coaches have done a great job of coming in here and not moving too fast, making sure everybody's on the same page. And, you know, the way they're doing things is going pretty smooth, and everybody's starting to really get a feel of things.
I feel like as a team, I feel like we've been doing well. I feel like everybody's been adapting to the new coaching staff, and everybody's been adapting to the culture that he's bringing with them. And I just feel like that's probably our strong suit right now. It's just nobody's stuck up in their old ways. Everybody's trying to just move on and adapt to what's going on here, and everybody's buying in, so I can't complain.
We've talked about it before spring ball as far as just like making sure that we're not installing too much. I want to get our base stuff in. There's a lot of things that I could sit here on film and say, oh, I'd love to do this, but that's not the best thing to do. The best thing is to get our guys getting good reps and being good at what we're at. I thought we were doing really good special teams-wise of installing, making things simpler for the guys every single day. Defensive-wise, they've done a good job of kind of slowing things down, making sure the installs are conducive to each practice because we got some back-to-back practices, so there's really no reason for us to install if we go back-to-back. So great job by the staff. They've done a good job of making sure the players are ready to go.
The UWF football spring game will take place March 9th. Some other news and notes for you. Women's golf is back in the top 25 in the national rankings, with the Argos checking in at number 22 in the latest national poll. And the 3rd-ranked UWF men's golf team tees it up at the Las Vegas Desert Classic. That starts Sunday, March 5th. And that is a look at all the things that we have going on for this edition of Argo Sports Insider. And you can also follow us with the Argo Armada app on your phone or tablet, and you can find that in the Apple or Google App Store. Check out our latest news and notes, schedules, rosters, and tons of other good stuff there as well. And we are all over social media. Don't forget to follow and engage with your favorite Argo teams. Go Argo is always the place to start on social medias, but all our teams have their own accounts and platforms. We will see you next time, and as always, go Argos!